Thank you, Deborah. I still remember like 6 or 7 years ago, I went to Mulberry, their head office here at mobile company, and learned the NIMDTD. That was like 6 or 7 years ago. And today I also meet some ladies from Korea, and we were in the class like 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah, so time flies, and we have been used the NIMDTD or JATS for our Ejournals platform like since 6 or 7 years ago. So today I'm so happy to be here and talk about our new project of adopting BATES for Scholars Portal ebook platform. So first, I'm going to do a brief introduction of our organization. So OCUL is a consortium of 21 university libraries in the province of Ontario, Canada. And the Scholars Portal is a project of OCUL to provide shared technology infrastructure and the shared collections to OCUL universities. Our Scholars Portal services include the digital content of ebooks, eJournals. Also, we have statistics data, geodata, and other services such as interlibrary loan and the research data management. So we have a separate platform for those services. We have eJournal platform and also ebook platform. So for our ebook platform, it's a digital repository containing 6 million ebooks from collections of various commercial publishers. And we also have the open access titles from Internet Archive. And our ebook platform is running on a PDF-based system. It's eBrace ISIS system. And we use mark record as the metadata format. So, while the PDF is still the dominant format in the ebook world, the publishers start to move from PDF to XML book. The XML books are loaded on our current ebook platform, but with some major problems. My colleague actually did a presentation a couple years ago in Belasage talking about our practice to loading the XML book into this PDF-based ebook platform. So our practice of loading XML book is actually we need to generating the PDF file, and then along with the metadata from the mark record, feed into the ISIS system, so the books can be read in the ebook platform, and the publisher's source data are loaded into MarkLogic and rendering the HTML view when the user reads the book from the ISIS ebook reader. So the XML books can be searched and viewed from the ebook platform, but with a lot of major problems because the system is designed for PDF books. And we use Mark as the metadata format. It delays the data loading process because for each of the books we loaded, a matching MAC record must be acquired and loaded as well, so the book can be displayed and searchable on the platform. So some publishers, they don't distribute the MAC record along with their books. So we need to acquire the MAC record from other sources, such as OCLC. So sometimes it's really hard to match the MAC record to the extra book we received. So actually we hire like 2 student assistants. Their job is actually matching the MAC record with the extra book we received from the publisher. So we received and ingest the ebooks from about 30 publishers. And each publisher delivered the content in their own format and the packaging system. So there are two major categories. One is metadata plus PDF full text, and another one is XML full text with or without PDF full text. So for the metadata plus PDF full text, the book metadata, some publishers send us the book level metadata in MARC or ONIX, and the one PDF file for the whole book. And the other publishers send us the book level metadata is in XML, but in various DTD or schema, and one PDF file for each chapter. And also we have publishers send us the data. They have the chapter level metadata in XML, along with one PDF for each chapter. For the XML full text we received from the publisher, some publishers send us like one giant XML file for the whole book, and some other publishers send us the one XML for each chapter. So it's really like not only the data format are different, also the different packaging system. So I know the NISO just released the draft of not the best practice, but the recommended practice of exchange e-serial. So some of the working group members are here. So I think we might need that kind of recommended practice for exchange ebook as well. So in 2014, the Scholars Portal directors approved the rebuild of the ebook platform, since the ICIS software is no longer supported by its provider, and since there are many new requirements for the ebook platform. So in this case, a standard XML format must be decided, so all the publishers' data can be normalized to a single standard for archiving, display, and the searching. So the base is obvious the best choice for us. So there are several reasons. First one is the base book model is intended to support scholarly reference higher education, medical, and technical books. So the scope of base is a right fit to Scholars Portal ebook collection. Secondly, is that BATES has the flexibility of managing books and the book parts as separate files and assembling that into a final document as need. Finally, and most importantly, BATES is a book model based on JATS article model. And as an early adopter of JATS, we have years of experience of using NIM, DTD, and JATS. So adopting BATES will minimize the staff learning time and reuse the system that already built on JATS. So our project goal is, the ultimate goal is building a new ebook platform based on BATES XML in MarkLogic. At the current stage, we will be transforming the publisher's native data into BATES format and begin populating a new BATES XML database in MarkLogic. At the same time, we need to feed the BATES XML data into ICIS system, since before the new ebook application is in place. So I don't know if you can see that clearly. That's the diagram of our workflow. So the current workflow is we have the data from the publisher, and we find the matching MAC record, and we organize the data into common ID directory structure, and the loader update the database tables index, sometimes the entitlement tables. And then the book is loaded in the IC system and it's ready to use. And the MAC record, the matched MAC record has the update the URI, which link back to our ebook platform. And our BEATS workflow is we don't need to wait for the MAC record. We transform the data directly from the publisher's source data and then organize into the same common ID and the directory structure. And we feed the BEATS XML both in ACIS and the MAC logic. And right now the book is still is readable from our current platform. And in the future, when the new book application is in place, the ebook platform will include the collection management and the entitlement DRM management, and then we'll be able to track the usage and also the online reader. So first, we have make some decisions of how we structure the base XML in the MAC logic. So so you can see from this example is we have the XML file for the whole book and also the XML file for the book part. They share the same base URI, which is the original source file name. This will enable us to trace back the publisher's original data. So you can see in this example, the last one actually is the book level XML, and the first couple are the chapter level XML. So since we have both book and the chapter level XML, base XML in MAC logic, so the XML file for the book includes the book metadata, the collection metadata, and the chapter, also the chapter metadata to generate the TOC. It also includes the link to the full text of each part. So the idea is we have this book level XML includes all the metadata, also the link to the actual full text. And our chapter level XML, we use the book part wrapper as the root element. And the chapter level XML, it actually holds the full text body of that chapter and also repeat the metadata about the chapter level metadata, and also repeat the book level and the collection level metadata. So the data transformation from the publisher's source data into BEATS XML actually is done in two steps. First is we do the data mapping. We call that crosswalk. Actually, it's created manually in Excel sheet. So the metadata librarian need to analyze the publisher's source data format from the source DTD or schema and try to map all the elements. So we all heard from yesterday. So in most cases, in the real data is not as complex as the DTD or schema it referenced. So the elements that are not used in the real data can be ignored. So actually the crosswalk is done manually in Excel sheet. We tried to use several visual mapping tools like MapForce, but we ran into lots of problem. So when we try to map like a single element, the tool forces us to map all the sub-element under that. So the whole thing got messed up, and it just didn't work for us. So if somebody have used a good automatic mapping tool, please do let me know. After the crosswork is done, the programmer with coding experience then develop the loader according to the crosswork using the coding language XST. And also a test environment is set up so the transformations are tested. And we inspect the output, and the crosswork can go through several changes to make sure the data are transformed completely and explicitly. So right now we have completed the data transformation for several publishers. So the first one is the Springer data. We transform the Springer source data into bits XML. So the Springer deliver us XML metadata and the PDF full text. The metadata is in book and the chapter level using their own Springer book DTD A++ version 2.4. Actually, it's a pretty comprehensive DTD for book and the book chapter metadata. And most of the element and attribute are mapped to bits except the following element. So here are the two examples. The first one is the chapter category. So the chapter category in the publisher's source data is used to indicate the book part or chapter type, such as the research paper perspectives. It is similar to the attribute article type in JATS and the book type in bits, which can be used as facet grouping for types of articles or book. Well, in bits, the attribute book part type is reserved for types of narrative material, such as the book part is a chapter, or it's a part, or it's a preface, something like that. So right now we map this chapter category to subject, but I don't think subject is really fit, since subject is normally the name of the topic used to describe a book or a part of a book. The second one is in the publisher source data, they have element is series abbreviated title. It is abbreviated form of the book series title in which a book is published. We would suggest to add element a brief collection title for book series abbreviation title, just like in JATS we have a brief journal title. The second publisher's data we transformed to bits is Harvard University Press data. The Harvard University Press delivers us the data in full text XML using NIM book DTD version 2.3, along with PDF full text for each chapter. So their book level XML contains the book and the book collection metadata with reference to the chapter full text XML and the PDF. And also the chapter level XML contains the chapter specific metadata and the full text in the body part, as well as the DOI of the book or book collections it belongs to. The NIM book DTD has great similarity with bits. However, there is no shortcut to make the crosswork from NIM book DTD to bits. The significant changes in both element and attribute must be identified. After the crosswork is completed, the transformation of the hardware data to bits is pretty straightforward, since it is the same data structure we adopted in MacLogic, because we also have the book level XML and the chapter level XML. And we also did the mapping from the MARC to bits, because for some of the publishers, MARC is still the only metadata format they can deliver to us. Also, because Scholars Portal also distribute MARC record to member libraries for each book that are loaded on Ebook platform. Although the MARC describe the book level metadata, there are still some elements that are hard to find match in bits. So here are a couple examples. So the first one is in MARC, the field 300 subfield A is the statement of the extent. So for this example, it means like 74 pages of illustration and 115 pages of actually the text. So it's just the extent statement, and it's really hard to program to separate the different page count. But in the current bits, we cannot put this statement in count element, because in bits the count element is an empty element, and it doesn't allow the PC data statement. And the second example is in MARC is like 082, field 082, subfield A is the Dewey classification number, and the subfield 22, that means is the 22nd version of Dewey classification. So we can put the Dewey classification from the subfield A either in book ID or the subject, but it looks like there's no place we can put the Dewey edition number. So to normalize all the publishers' data into bits involves enormous challenges, not only because the number of the types of data need to be transformed, but also the complexity of the data packaging and the delivery system. So our first step was analyzing the publisher's source data format and decide the types of loader needed for the data transformation. We are also planning the modular design to reduce the loader work. And secondly, this project involves people with different specialties, including librarians, programmers, and the system support. In addition, this project will take a long period of time to complete, so the documentation becomes very important. From the beginning of this project, we maintain related documents in the project wiki, so every team members can share their work on the wiki. So our goal is to transform all the information in the source data into bits without the data loss. So, but sometimes we find out we pay too much attention to a lot of things, but we miss some like important element. So we first decide the list of the key element that must be transformed when they are available in the source data. We also maintain a standard list of attributes to ensure the attribute value is normalized from different source data, since most of the attribute in bits has no default value, and there is no like recommended or standard value list for the attribute. Okay, so right now our project is still in the very early stage. So far, most of our work is in the outer wrapper and the metadata transformation rather than the core body content. And we can expect a lot more challenges to transform the XML full text body part. Moreover, we have like some non-standard content we received from the publisher, such as the reference books, such as the encyclopedia or dictionary. They are in XML, and I have seen an example. They have one giant XML for the like 300 pages of dictionary in one XML. So it would be interesting to work to transform those kind of data into bits XML. And then eventually, we will build the new ebook application based on bits XML. And we can expect the richer functionalities and the better user experience in our new bits XML-based ebook platform. Okay, thank you. So, anyway. Questions, suggestions, advice?
Yes. Before I ask for questions, I would like to tell you something.
Okay.
You are not on the BITS working group, so you don't know. But you weren't the only person who complained that the counts elements were all empty. And there were things books needed to say. So in the next release of BITS, all of the counts elements have PC data inside. And you'll be able to do what you wanted.
Okay, great. Thank you, Deborah.
Hi, Laura Randall, NLM. I was actually going to say the same thing Debbie said, but I also have a question. For the MARC record fields that aren't easily captured in the BITS model, have you looked into using custom meta and then putting like the MARC field name in custom name or meta name and then the value in meta value? I mean, it seems like that's the kind of thing that we designed custom meta for. So I'm just wondering if you're utilizing that.
Yes, we plan to use that, but first we try to find like match in base first. If not, we will do the customize.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.